Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Skywalker OG coming at you from K16 with the expedition video. It's the new expeditions. I did, I think, level 76 through 80. I did level 80 first. So, if y'all guys wanted to get through it quickly, I guess. Um, what I'm showing you now is the commanders that I used as the leading commanders and the talents that I had them set up on. I used Osman instead of my Boudica because my Boudica is currently set up as a peacekeeper, and obviously I don't want those talents as a leading commander. Um, when I recorded this, it was the first time that I tried the new expedition, the one where you siege a castle and you defend a castle. Um, so yeah. But this is the tech that I have. If you are doing level 80 on expedition and you didn't happen to do it while you were in the Lost Kingdom for the Lost Kingdom buffs, you need to have this tech or higher to do it, because it is insanely hard and you need these kind of commanders or better. um, as you see, this first part of the video, I'm not really going to explain too much on it. I was just trying a different setup. I didn't clip it out. I don't know why I didn't clip it out even after I took it down to edit this. Um, I've been, yeah, I'm tired, guys. Sorry. So, but anyways, I was trying to get the third star in it, and I was trying to see if YSG maybe was enough damage with my Herman to push me over the top for that third star to keep my march up higher. Um, Being that it's giving Lacan more damage, and it clearly was not. But so yeah, that stunk. I actually got wrecked on this march. But as you can see, there's all the buffs that I had doing this. Um, I think I only was able to one star it now, actually, now that I'm back in the normal kingdom without any of those buffs. Yeah, I was only able to one star it now. I can't two star it, so it's a bummer if you didn't get through during the Lost Kingdom and you don't have commanders like this and tech like this, because level 80 is a killer. Khan is insanely strong. As you can see here, just changing one commander was a crushing blow to the rest of my marches around, and that was by putting in my YSG. The marches I have and that I am using is a Moto Sao Sao, my number one nuking march. Pelagius Babers, that's my number two nuking march. My number three nuking slash crowd control, I guess, or silence, is Herman El Cid. El Cid you usually want to put first, but my Herman is a lot higher than my El Cid, and so yeah. But the reason why you want to put El Cid first is because the silence. Um, you get the one silence, second silence from El Cid, and then the 2 second silence from Herman, as opposed to Herman usually overlaps El Cid's. I have noticed that sometimes it doesn't, but 9 times out of 10 it will overlap, and you're losing El Cid's silence. But for archers, that's the best setup I have, is my Herman El Cid. So that's what I went with on the second go around, as you see here coming up. And my support group, which is my Osman and my Joan. My Joan is obviously there to buff up the rest of my groups, and my Osman is a nuker, and he's on the skill talent tree, so he is making that Joan pop off her skills a lot faster and a lot more consistent to buff up the rest of my marches. Obviously, like any fight, we want to send out our tanks in the front, and then we want all of our nukers and our buffers to come up in the rear. And leading up as my tank is my Richard at the lead, level 60. I believe he's 5-4-3-5. My Charles is supporting him, and he's 5-5-4-5 or 5-4-4-5, something like that. But anyways, yeah, so that's my tanking pair. They're very, very strong. They are probably the number one tank pair in the game. With Constantine out now, though, I do believe that Constantine is quite a bit tankier. But I haven't gotten him, so I can't really say that. I haven't seen any reports on him. If anybody has me added in the game would like to show some that you've won, I'm sure Ronnie will let me see quite a bit after he levels them up some. So that'd be cool. But yeah, if anybody has any reports on him, I'd love to see some. I'd like to see how tanky he is. Um, But yeah, whenever your tank gets too low, if you're able to get to the second star, you want to pull your tank back. That way, you have the all the marches surviving, so you can get that second star. And the other thing is make sure that you have enough marches or troops in your march whenever you pull your tank group off, that they don't die while they're walking away, because Khan's still gonna chase you down, especially if you have a Richard. He's gonna be able to chase you down and beat on you for quite a while before you're able to get away from him. Sorry. So remember that that is the thing. Like I have said, though, my Richard Charles is pretty tanky, so I am able to tank quite a bit and then walk away from this. So I wait until they get to about 30,000 or so, or 25, 30,000, and then I pull them off. And yeah, we're able to 2-star. Um, this part of the expedition really isn't that much to speak about. It's not anything crazy. It's just send it out. I tried. Oh, sorry. I tried multiple ways of doing this whenever I couldn't successfully do it, like putting a march and taking aggro and then marching them away when they got lower, so they can run away without getting hit, and then keep switching out marches like that. I tried that and I wasn't able to do it. Um, Literally going straight onto him like this and having a tank that's able to tank out his damage is the only way I was able to do this. I don't know why. Um, I would assume that you would need more tech and power to be able to do something like that, but that's like literally the only way I could do it. I tried it every other possible way. When you're doing this, guys, remember to take your buffs from your guardians, your 50% capacity buff, make sure it's on. So if you're like in a war or whatever, put it on, and then do this afterwards, whatnot, whatever have you. But make sure you have a 50% buff on if you want to try this and you're having problems with it. Um, Make sure you have a 5% attack or defense buff on your guardian buff, and a title if you need it. General, Duke, anything that'll give you attack or a little bit extra defense would be very helpful for you if you're having problems with it. Yeah, see, I was only able to 2-star it. But yeah, a title could help you if you needed it. Um, that would be useful, I guess. All the buffs that you have do work. I mean, they're up there on the top left. Um, every time I've applied one or changed one, I've seen the ratios of my marches changing, so I know that they have to be working. I mean, it. I'm using the same marches, it's just a different buff. So when you're doing this, my goal was to try to pull out one or two marches onto my tank and then surround them with my nuking marches. That way, none of my marches got surrounded. Now, as you see here, and I did it in quite a few parts of these, and it was because I honestly didn't have time to fix my mistakes and redo these videos over and over again. Um, but plus I thought it would be cool to point out my mistakes. But anyways, when you stack up a march on top of one target, it obviously isn't gonna line up unless something's glitched in the game or whatever, like you're up against a mountain or something. As you'll see, whenever I was fighting my Khan, at one point it did go in a straight line. But anyways, unless it's like glitched or something, it doesn't usually go in a straight line. Your marches will go clockwise or counterclockwise around their march. So I should have knew my Osman was going to get forced over, and I should have repositioned him earlier. However, my marches are strong enough to adjust for my mistake here, and I just retargeted onto the Saladin to take out the nuke, and then I'm going to take back out the tank. And then I actually think I do this again. My dog's like freaking out. But anyways, I think I actually do this again whenever I go to switch targets over here. I'm not paying attention to my Pelagius over there doing his thing. And I paid for it. Pelagius got targeted, I believe, by this YSG. So yeah, that stunk. But again, my marshals were able to make up for it because they're pretty strong. And my thing here is, obviously, when you're fighting a YSG, you want to try to get out of the AoE. However, there's two of them here, so I felt like repositioning my marches a lot would take away from the damage that I'm putting down, and I would rather get at least one of the YSGs to a very low point where they're not doing a lot of damage onto my marches with his AoE before I start positioning. Um, just throwing that out there, but if you are able to, or you only pull one of these guys, you do want to position around the AoE, but you don't want to waste time doing so. You will see later on in the video where I did do that. I wasted quite a bit of time in doing so, trying to reposition around the march that really stunk. And then, yeah, obviously we want to just keep surrounding the marches. I found the all the lower expeditions to be quite easy actually, even without being having the Lost Kingdom buffs. This one was a pain in the butt for me at first, and that's because the way I was marching my troops is the troops at the top left. I kept marching them straight down, and it would pull two marches in the star formation onto that march, which was taking away one of my nuking marches, which was not good. But after a few trial and errors, I was able to correctly pull and path the marches away from each other. Um, Again, as you see, I do mess up, and I don't pay attention to the clockwise shift. And I believe not my Osman, but my Herman. Eventually, whenever I switch targets, he will take the aggro because of the pushback of the shift of the clockwise shift of your troops on the target. You'll see whenever I retarget. I was thinking it would just turn and he would start hitting the YSG, but it pushed him back, and then he started hitting the YSG because instead of moving the troops around the target, it just pushed him back like it just did there. And yeah, you gotta pay attention to that, guys, and expect something like that to happen. That was on me. I should have definitely known that that was gonna happen for sure, because I did it just a few minutes ago. So yeah. Now at this point, I feel like I can just tank all of them and nuke them all out. And the time, the time is very low on these matches, so it's a pain in the butt. So that's why I went ahead and surrounded all of, or went ahead and let them all surround my Richard Charles here. I knew that they could survive it, and I knew my nukers would do their job and take them out before they could do any real damage to my tank. And again, obviously, we're going to solo out one march at a time and surround them for that surrounding buff. And preferably, just like any other game, war game, MMO, anything like that, you would want to, obviously this isn't that, but anyways, you would want to, focus the nukes first, and then the tanks very last. You want to try to get through those tanks last, um, if you're able to. That's why we put our tanks in the front. That's why our ADCs and our nukes stay in the back. That Charles is just eating. That Richard Charles is just eating damage. Man. Richard Charles is some tanky group, but not when you're getting that much damage put on you. Every one of my epic commanders that I am using is expertise. I expertised all my commanders pretty early, at least for my epics. If they release more epics, I'll have them expertise as well. I have plenty of universals. So, yeah. Epics are good. Epics are very good until you get your legendaries maxed. So, I use them. Obviously, I want to get all my marchers together, um, in one position. So there is an El Cid and I think it's YSG in this group, and there's an El Cid and Cleopatra. So the whole deal here is I want to get El Cid and YSG group down low so that their march doesn't have a high amount of troops, meaning they're not putting down, or no, it's El Cid Frederick. I'm sorry. So then when their skills proc, they're not putting down as much damage. Um, they're not getting as much healing done, um, and so on and so forth, obviously. And then we want to go after the healer because the healer is going to keep those troops up higher longer than we want them to be. There's no point in letting them be healed while they're fighting. Just go ahead and get that out the way. And then you want to go back onto the nuker slash healer. Um, Being the El Cid Frederick. That's my opinion on how you should go about focusing groups like this. Even on the battlefield, if there's a support group, you would want to take out that support group and then the nukers. Unless that support group is obviously tanks. You don't want to focus tanks, but if it's a troop that's healing and buffing your enemy, you definitely don't want that going down. You want to get that thing out the way. And then obviously we want to focus the Constantine Richard very last because they are the tanks in this group. And then we want to get our Richard to start moving over to the left side because, again, the timing is pretty quick on this. So you got to be fast. You got to be very fast on this to finish it. Um, so yeah, you got to get your butt moving. And yeah, so I'm just gonna make him trail over, and the rest of my groups are gonna keep nuking him down as I'm pulling him. And then whenever he gets too low, about 30k or so, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull my Richard straight off of him because I know my nukes are gonna get him before he starts trailing back. And then as soon as they blow him up, then I will go ahead and go on to the next nuker, which is Moto, and swarm him down. As soon as he gets low, I believe I'm going to go ahead and pull Montmed. Again, because of the time, I'm going to go ahead and get them low and get them started dying before the time gets low. Got to chill out. Chill out, girl. chill out. Go down. Hey, go down. Go down, girl. Go down, girl. This dog's crazy. And as you see, every time I go, I want to make sure my Richard pulls aggro every time I can. And that's pretty much the most important part of this, is just make sure your tank is pulling aggro, and make sure you're pulling these marches out solo, unless you feel like you can take them down in swarms. But the best bet is to pull them out solo, or two marches at a time. There's no point in getting yourself swarmed anyways. And again, here we want to position our nukers to the back, and we want to keep our tank closer to the enemy. And here you will see where I try to spend way too much time positioning this YSG and positioning my marches around this YSG. It's not worth it to spend this much time doing that. It is important to pay attention and spread around a YSG AoE, but in Expedition, it's not that important enough that you're doing this, because it's a waste of time. Now on the field, definitely. If you need to take your time, but get the heck out of that AoE. You want to be as fast as you can, but on here, it's not that important. You can go ahead and nuke down the march. And then here, I just went crazy, and honestly thought I could take a lot more than I could. And it turned out okay, but yeah, I tried too much. In this scenario, we obviously want to take out the AoE first. Well, not the AoE first. I want to take out the Cao Cao Khan first, because they are the least tankiest. They do the least they do the least surviving, I guess you would say. They die quick. Anything with Cao Cao leading is gonna die extremely fast. So I just wanted to go ahead and get that march out of there to get the surrounding buff lowered on my Richard Charles, on my tanks, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take out the AoE, and then I want to take out the Khan. Even on the field, if somebody's got a Cao Cao leading, man, that's gonna be a pretty paperweight, um, paper thin, not paperweight, paper thin march. You could slice straight through it. Get 'em, boys, get 'em. It's pretty easy when they're this low already. That Khan still stands though. I don't know why I focused the Richard, or why I didn't focus the Khan a little bit sooner, because he did do a lot of damage to my Richard. But at this point, it doesn't matter. They're not gonna take my Richard down at all. But yeah. I guess I should have switched focus to Khan a little bit sooner. Man, this really stinks. Um, Sorry guys. I did this video earlier and I had a lot more hype on it, but this is really late at night and I had to take it down and re-edit it. And I was trying to mess with the sounds to get my voice higher than the game volume, and I really messed it up. And yeah, so I had to re-videotape over it. So sorry, it's not as hyped as it was before. If you did catch it before, and yeah, it just stinks. But anyways, yeah, the new expedition levels, they're very fun. I quite enjoy them, but they're really easy. I wish there had been more of a challenge, to be honest. I thought they were going to be harder, so I sent my Richard Charles leading on the defense and on the attack. Um, I will say this: at the end of the day, I did another part on the video, which I added to the end of this video, and it was Richard YSG defending, and the Richard YSG did a heck of a lot better defending my city than the Richard Charles, and that's just like in a normal when somebody's rallying your city. You want to have one tank and one nuke. If you're doing no damage to the rally, then what's the point of defending? You know what I mean? You can have as many troops defending. Well, no, if you have just an absurd amount of troops, you'll kill them anyways. But anyways, you can have 2 million troops defending a 2 million attack. But if you're just healing and buffing your defense and you're not doing any damage onto that attack, then there's no point. You know what I mean? You can get up and keep getting back up, but if I keep knocking you down, then the result's still going to be the same. You're going to end up going down. I have a kink in my neck for some reason, sorry. So obviously I want to swarm all the marches out on the field with my marches. And then I want to go ahead and swarm the city and support my rally. That's pretty much the whole goal. If I was having dead troops, like this was actual PvP, I would not swarm. I would not swarm the city. But being that this is an expedition, I have nothing to lose. Obviously, you want to swarm the city and help out the rally, because you got to take down the city before the time. Just like in the defending aspects, you have to defend um, between the allotted time. So I want to go ahead and swarm. And this city will not hold up with all my nukers around it and my tank on it. I did switch one of my marches. Well, actually switched two of my marches because Osman and Herman is actually a better nuking march. So I'm using them together, and then I switched my supporting march to a Scipio and a Scipio and Sun Tzu because of the AoE and doing a lot more damage onto the enemies. Again, I pictured this, I seen Ronnie's video, so I was picturing this as like more of a war scenario. So this is what I would actually bring to an open field battle. I believe this would bring more damage to the table than the marches I was using before. So yeah, that's why I switched up my marches. And as you see, it's pretty easy. Pretty easy cake. And again, it's just the time, guys. It's just the time that was a little bit difficult for us, but we still was able to get it, no problem. And at this point, we don't have Lost Kingdom buff, so this is just pretty easy. So here is my Richard Charles, and you'll see I'm a little disappointed they get into the yellow on here. My Richard YSG never hits the yellow, so yeah. Um, on here, same thing. Just like I was saying earlier, you want to focus nukes, just like you don't want them focusing your nukes. You want to focus their nukes and get them down. Don't mind the tanks getting to your city. If you can stop them from getting to your city, cool. But if not, let them hit your city. It's fine. They're tanks. They're gonna survive, but they're not going to put enough damage onto your city that it's going to hurt you bad or anything like that. You're still going to be perfectly fine. Um, all you have to do is keep your city up for the 3 minute time allotted, or the 3 minute and 30 second time, whatever it is at the start. So taking down their nukes and not letting them get that surrounding buff with the nukers around your city is pretty much the most important key factor on finishing this part of the expedition. Again, it's not that hard, but it is very, very fun. I quite enjoyed this. This is really sweet. I do wish I would have, doing this more. I am, because I wanted to try it more, than just the one time, obviously. So doing this over and over again, which I've done multiple times now, um, it's it's fun to try the more strategic points of this to try to not even let them hit your castle, but it's almost impossible for me at least to get them to stop from hitting your castle. Um, but I have found out that if you can do it whenever it first starts, get your marches out of the gate and tap every march coming in, that you can reduce the people coming into your city. Um, I didn't really feel the need to videotape that and show it on here on this one, because when they update more and it does become difficult, then I will do another video updating you guys and explaining that. But at this point, the way we're doing this, at the difficulty that it is, it's simple. There's no need to go into some extreme out there, you gotta do this crazy defensive formation type deal to beat it whenever it's not anything like that in difficulty. Even if you're free to play, it's not gonna be anything you can't handle. Especially not if you're at this point of the expedition already, anyways. So again, you see we're in the yellow already, and we still have a minute to go. I don't like that. That stinks to me, at least. That's terrible. I don't want that. Um, so yeah, whenever I seen that I was in the yellow, here I went back up into the white, but that's just because of my Richard healing so much. But I do go back to the yellow, and I didn't like that, so I wanted to try out my theory on rallies and what I've noticed on rallies from reports on being rallied and rallying people, and that is that a tank with a nuker behind them is a lot better than two tanks. So I tried my Richard YSG. Honestly, I probably should have went with Richard Sun Tzu because my YSG is only 511 and my Sun Tzu's expertise, obviously. Um, so he would probably do a lot better. But right here is going to be Richard YSG, and let the good times roll, boys. I love my YSG. I love him. I love him. I love him. If I can go back and do it all again, he would be the first legendary commander I spent all my sculptures and expertising, because YSG is insane. He's insane at city defense. He's insane at rallying. He's insane rallying rallies. He's insane PvP. He's insane AoE on barbarians. YSG is just nuts. The versatility, the versatility, the value, everything YSG does is beautiful, beautiful. I personally think they don't give a lot of great commanders to the archers just because of the fact that they have YSG. Because YSG is so freaking amazing. Hopefully, the new commanders will be archers, but we don't know. Hopefully, they will though. Or at least I don't know. I haven't actually checked in the patch notes in a couple of days. I have been very busy. Again, same thing. We want to focus the nukers coming out of our cities. Let the tanks go in if need be. And yeah, my Richard YSG is just going off the chain with skills, popping them off, destroying all these Martians around. You'll just see all the Martians up here on the top left going on their health, because this is just insane, boys. Having a nuker backing up your tank is great. The proof is in the pudding. If you ever taken a rally, put up. If you plan on taking a rally and you want to take more than one rally, put up two tanks. Put up a Richard Charles, two of the best tanks in the game, two of the best. I'm not saying they are the best. I'm saying two of the best. Well, whatever, whatever. They are the best, honestly, in my opinion. Alexander's really good, but I don't think he's all that. Richard Constantine's probably going to be the best. But anyways, two of the best commanders, Richard Charles up. Take a rally, let me know how it goes, and then put up Richard YSG or Charles YSG and let me know how it goes. The results will be insane. You need a nuker behind that tank. And that's exactly what I did here. And again, obviously, I just surrounded nukes trying to come out of the city. But as you can see, there's no yellow whatsoever. Because having that nuker behind my tank is beautiful. It's the piece de resistance. I don't even know if that's how you say it, honestly. I probably just said something so stupid. Where did I learn that? I think my culinary teacher used to say that. I have no idea what it means, to be honest with you. Anyways, you'll never hear me say it again because it sounded dumb. But yeah, this game mode's amazingly fun. Richard YSG. My YSG is not max, it's only 5 on 1. But yeah. Get down, dog. My dog wants to get in the video as well. Gotcha, she's going crazy for some reason. She's tripping out about something on the wall. She's on the couch. So, but anyways, I hope you guys like this video. I hope it helps you. I hope I explained everything well enough to you. Again, this is just looping back around. Get your butt out of here. This is just looping back around to show you my talents that I used. And yeah, if this helped you guys, like, subscribe, shoot me a comment. I appreciate you guys. We hit over 100. I plan to keep growing this channel, and it would be nothing without you guys. So I appreciate that a lot. Keep helping me build it, man. That's awesome. It's great. Until next time, this is your boy Skywalker OG signing out. Peace.